Hey there, everyone. Great blessings and welcome to the Midday Moment. I am your host, Dr. Davina Jones, the Assistant Spiritual Leader of today's church and fivefold general for Church of the Everlasting Kingdom. I enjoy growing in these communities. I enjoy learning how to become a better me in these communities. And I show up here in the Midday Moment to support you being a better you as you go about and live your days. I don't come to judge you, I come to support you. I'm so grateful for all the goodness that continues to flow through my life. And I desire for you to have more goodness in your life in the midst of stuff. Stuff gonna happen. We're human. Stuff comes out of us and stuff gonna happen around us. We are humans. So we take in and we release. Physically, that happens. Spiritually, it's the same. We take in and we release. And so I support you navigating this process called life. So there's a certain way that I live so that I can overcome. I don't run from my questions, I run into my questions. So there's a certain way I do that so that I can overcome my challenges and learn to live better. There's a certain way that I live my life so that I can live on purpose. I overcome on purpose, and then I plan to live on purpose. That means I got a plan for my health. I've got a plan for my relationships. I got a plan for my money. So as I do this, I live better. I'm able to function better, and I support you doing the same thing. There's a certain way that I live my life so that I can overcome on purpose, live on purpose, and live out my purpose. I believe that each of us, we come into this earthly experience with different gifts, different talents, and different sensitivities to help us answer the question, why am I here? Why did I go through what I went through? Why did I survive it? What must I do? What can I do with all this that I've experienced, all that I'm feeling? What do I do with it? And so as I answer those questions for me, God knows I have them. As I answer them for me, as I talk out loud, somebody say, as I often share my business, as I talk out loud, I do so to encourage you in your business. so, I often say that what fuels me, the gas that's in my tank, my oil changes, my alignments. I'm going with the car metaphors today. My tire rotations, because this is a vehicle. This whole body, boom, I hit that table. This whole body is a vehicle to support my purpose in the earth. And so as I work on my vehicle, my soul is also, I'm gonna call my soul a vehicle too. And as I rotate the tires in my soul, as I do the front end alignments in my soul, as I do my soul work, I often refer to it as prayer work, spiritual practices. And sometimes I'm very general, but lately I've been encouraging you about specific prayer work because I'm memorizing and just kind of working with holding the consciousness of very specific prayer works. So each month this year, we are highlighting very specific prayer works. And so we highlighted earlier this year the prayer work of visioning, visualization, and dreaming. Yes, all of that is prayer work. Your dreams are prayer work. And doesn't mean that everything your dream is exactly what you give attention to or exactly what's going to come about, but to consider, to think about it. If you ate something bad, then don't eat that anymore. But there are times when God is speaking to you or spirit is speaking to you. Your dreams are talking to you. I've lived it and I've experienced it. And so your vision boards, all of that. We got a vision board session coming up. And I said I was going to put that flyer in here too in the Midday Moment page so you can participate in that. So visioning, visualization, your daydreaming, all of that, your daydreaming, your vision charting, your vision boarding, and your dreaming, all of that is prayer work. Okay. I remember the story of Jim Carrey, who I think it was Jim Carrey who wrote a check to himself for like $10 million, I think it was, and then kept it in his pocket until it became his truth, until he could cash it. I remember Tiffany Haddish, I think, talking about sleeping in her car in front of this particular home, and the cops would come and move her. And one day she went to a party by the person in that home. She's like, I used to live right out here, right out in front of your house. I ain't telling you to camp out in front of people's houses, okay? But I am talking about the visioning, the visualization, and the prayer work. That's prayer work. That visualization, visualization, and dreaming. We took time to highlight scriptures, denials, and affirmations, how to take a scriptural passage and allow it to show you what you need to bury, what you need to let go, for life application, okay? Because you can read the Bible literally, you can read it as literature, and you can read it as life application. So if you focus, or if you try to just do it literally, good luck. But if you focus on life application, focus on the principles, you get some more understanding about what you need to bury. We just taught the other day, let the dead bury the dead. Let the dead bury the dead. Sometimes the best you could do is let the dead bury the dead. All right. So we learn how to use scriptural passages so we know what to deny, what to release, what to let go, and what to bring in. Okay. And we've given some examples of that. We took time to talk about fasting, feasting, and forgiving as a part of your prayer work. Okay. We took time to talk about um, your research, reading, researching, and studying, reading, researching, and studying. And we dealt with, there's another one we dealt with. What am I missing? Oh, networking, fellowshipping, and mentoring. All right. That your fellowshipping, your networking, and mentoring, that's all prayer work. And this month, we are highlighting the stewardship of your time, talent, and treasure. That's prayer work. The stewardship of your time, talent, and treasure is prayer work. Where you place your time, who's getting your time, who gets your time, how much of your time do they get? Mhm. How much of your time do you need to reserve for yourself? I had a whole conversation about that Monday. And where does your treasure go? How do you decipher, navigate? How do you orchestrate the flow? I'm going to call it a flow. How do you orchestrate the flow of your treasure? All of that is prayer work, so that you can live your best life. So, I bless you in that, and I pray that that encourages you. And we do have a specific book for that. Okay. Spiritual practices for the development of the soul. It's available. I study with Dr. Gerard R. Pulley, and so I'm often letting you know about some of those study materials available at DOCTOR, Dr. Pulley, PULLEY, at gmail.com. Well, reading, studying, and researching is something that I'm really leaning into right now. And so I'm encouraging you to read materials, read books, read materials. I'm reading up on my health. And so I have entered a new stage of health. And I'm so proud of myself, and I'm so grateful for grace. I'm grateful for the grace of my body. And one of Whitney Houston's songs, she has a line and she says, "Thank you. I thank me for sticking with me." So I'm thanking me today for sticking with me. I'm thanking my body for sticking with me because I have entered a new phase of health. I took some time to read a little more, study a little more, be mentored, be coached. So all of that is prayer work. And so my body is experiencing some elevations in health. My breathing has gotten better. Oh my goodness, my breathing has gotten better. And some other things are manifesting in a better way. So I look forward to sharing. I look forward to you seeing. Not that I dislike what I am and who I am. God has blessed me. And I bless all these extra tissues right here. I bless them. I bless it so I can heal it. I bless it so I can heal it. You can't heal what you don't love. So I bless it. I love me so I can work with the healing of me. Okay. All right. So as we read, study, and research, study for all the things, your money, real estate, all of that. Read, study, and research. So I also shared with you some readings before Daily Inspiration produced by the Universal Foundation of Better Living. And right now, give my body some water. There you go. Give my body some more water. when your body when your body talks to you, respond. So that's my body talking. So I'm responding, giving it some water. Okay. So I have been enjoying reading the catalog of inspirations called Kingdom 365. So again, I study with Bishop Dr. Gerard Pulley, and he has published a catalog of affirmations called Kingdom 365. So every day there's an affirmation that you can study and that you can work with. And so if you already have one, then get one for somebody else. They're really good, very helpful. We have so many tools. You don't have to, you're not out of tools in this spiritual community. You're not out of tools. We have enough to share. Okay, we got stuff to share. You are not without some guidance and some support in your prayer life. We have some tools to support your prayer life, your spiritual works. So I call it a catalog of affirmations. It is available at DOCTOR, Dr. Pulley at gmail.com. And so I'm enjoying reading them. Yesterday was actually day 160 for 2026, for the year 2026, and the day is 161. Yesterday I covered, I think, 155 to 159, I believe. And so, but yesterday was actually day 160. That's okay. Chat GPT got me together. And so today I'm going to cover day 160 and day 161. Okay. Isn't that cute? Okay. All right. So day 160, the affirmation is God is our source. Everyone and everything else is a resource. Excuse me. Still healing me. God knows I've come a long way. God is our source, and everyone and everything else is a resource. Background for that is Philippians 4:19, and God has supplied all of our needs. God has. Let me tell you what's really one of the things that's really important about this affirmation. God is my source. Everyone, including your boss, is a resource. Everyone, your spouse, resource. Everyone, your job is a resource. Everyone, your contracts, resource. Everyone and everything else is a resource. Let me tell you why this is so important. Because humans, we're not consistent. And so when you make a human your source, it will fail you. When you make a thing outside of spirit your source, it will fail you. When you make your job your source, this is why people flip out. When that job is ending, things are changing. You get called into office and they have a conversation. And sometimes they don't even call you into the office. They call you on the phone and they tell you don't need to come in. Those are resources. And resources can be replaced. Resources are plentiful. They're just in different places. But in order to locate them, you have to understand that spirit is your source. Divinity is your source. Divine mind is your source. God is your source. Light is your source. Energy, vibration, the spirit of absolute good is your source. You can't get that twisted. And you can't get that confused. You can't get that twisted and you can't get that confused. God is your source. This keeps you from experiencing self destruction, depression, and oppression when things change. Because divinity is your source, divine mind is your source, God is your source. This right here will save your life. That saves your life. This gives you peace of mind. This gives you peace of mind. When I experienced a separation from one of the places that I served and worked, the right handwriting was on the wall for like a year. In fact, someone had even told me, they say, young lady, um, you're not going to be here much longer. Somebody literally told me this. You're not going to be here much longer. They weren't a member of the organization. They were a guest at the organization for an event we had. And the gentleman pulled me aside. He said, you're not going to be here much longer. He said, there's greater work for you to do. And that right there was an indication that things were probably going to get a little shaky. That right there was an indication that the waters were probably going to start doing like this. Because, we don't always, walk out the door just, on that. We don't always, we don't always leave a situation easy. And I'm not saying that I was supposed to leave easy. I think I left at the right time. But my point is, after he said that, I realized the next several months, the next 7, 8, 9 months, stuff was crazy. It was chaotic. It didn't feel good. It was a lot of murmuring, whole bunch of stuff. You know what I stood on? Light is my source. God is my source. Divine mind is my source. Somebody even came to my office and they told me they trying to push you out. I said, oh, it's okay. They can only do what's allowed. They can only do what source allows. My job is to get the education. My job is to get all the lessons from this experience. I learned that I learned that I can benefit from walking in more grace, more understanding, more dignity. That sometimes you gotta let things go. I learned a lot. I decided to just make sure I got my education so I could graduate on time. And so I was able to graduate from that workplace in peace. I left in peace. I didn't leave arguing. I didn't leave debating. I left in peace. And I left with my money too. Yeah. Yeah, you got to pay me. Yeah. Because I walked the process and I trusted. God is my source. Everyone and everything else is a resource. So I was able to go to my next resource. You give me the benefits of this resource, pay me my money, give me the benefits of this resource, time, serve, and I'm good. hmm Don't get so distraught when things go to changing because God is source, light is source, everyone and everything else, resource. My goodness. Apparently, I spoke that, and that healing is still coming up and out. All right, day 61. It's our last one for the day. We're still in these two because the day now is day 61. Jesus, no, just like Jesus Christ, we can empower the blind to see, the deaf to hear. Just like Jesus Christ, we can empower the blind to see and the deaf to hear. Just like Jesus Christ, we can empower the blind to see and the deaf to hear. To be honest with you, what's very fresh for me with that affirmation is my intercession for some of my family members. I have some young people. I got a couple of young people, two and three in particular. I got at least three young people in my family in their early 20s. And they are walking right now blind and they are walking deaf. I can't force them to see and I can't force them to hear, but I offer them empowerment. Mhm. I offer them empowerment to see and I offer them empowerment to hear. And I can offer that empowerment in faith because of the background scripture for this, John 14 and 12. I can do even greater works. All that's sitting there and that's outlined in scripture, I can do that too, and even greater. All that we see modeled in the life of who we call Jesus, I can do that and even greater. That's what's affirmed there. You don't have to believe it. We're just sharing what works for us, okay? So I'm not here to debate and fight, all right? So if that doesn't work for you, do what works for you. This works for me. And I'm practicing how to be balanced, to empower people to see, empower people to hear. So I'm holding the faith for a few of these young people that are connected to me. And a part of what gives me that faith is I've seen this empowerment work before. I'm so grateful and I'm so humble. Someone came up to me in service Sunday and just blessed me and encouraged me. And they basically said this. They've said in so many words, you empowered me to see and you empowered me to hear. And what they said was they hadn't attended our community, our spiritual community, our events, activities, or worship, whatever, all of, not just whatever, but they hadn't attended any of those empowerment sessions. Worship service for me is empowering. Okay, Bible studies are social events, they are empowering, and they hadn't come to any of the empowering events in a while. And they said that when they showed up, that I was so nice to them, that I, treated them like I had been seeing them every day, and just so nice, no judgment. They were expecting that, and they didn't get it from me. And then they said, and then you asked me. They had brought a dish to this event, and it tastes so good. It tastes so good. And I asked them, I say, "Ooh, make this again next week because we're having a blah 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 blah, and so really likes this. Can you make this again?" And they showed up and they made it. And what they said to me is that you gave me an assignment. In other words, you helped me to see that I matter, that I've got something to offer. You know that Christmas song we sing, the little drummer boy, I thought I had nothing. I'm a poor boy and I have nothing to give the king. You're not poor. You're not poor. You have something to give to humanity. You have something valuable to share. You matter, and your gifts and your talents matter. What she showed me was that kindness, it empowered her to see, it empowered her to hear, her blinded eyes open, deaf ears open, that she matters. And she told me some other things that I shared too that blessed her physically and in her health. I was so humbled and I was so grateful. Listen, I'm telling you all, in so many different ways. It doesn't require you to speak in tongues. It doesn't require you to run around and I run. I can run around a room. I can run around. I can do the ring shout. That's what they call it in African culture. In Pentecost, we just call it shouting. I can do the ring shout. I can shout. I can run, I can meditate, I can speak in tongues, I can sit in silence. I can do all of that. And at the same time, what the miracle that she experienced, the greater work that she experienced, all it took was my kindness. That's it. This is so good to me. Woo, I'm living my best life. I'm out of here. I'm living my best life. And these tools are helping me. They are helping me. They are gifts of Holy Spirit. They are gifts of light. They are gifts of the highest vibration helping me. Can't force it on you, but I certainly offer it. I love you. Listen, subscribe to the Kingdom Access Network. Catch me on Can. I know I'm here on Facebook, YouTube. But catch me on because Can does like that 365. It's in motion 365, full of these operations from this system of living. We call it kingdom, this system of living that allows you to live from light, that allows you to live really with light, love, divine energy, God, divine mind as your source, as your center. Whew, you can hear 24/7 on Can. So subscribe to Can. All right. Like and share. I welcome you to like and share and comment, like and share. Okay. Whew, I'm living my best life. I pray you are living yours. Okay. Take care. God bless.